Hey nail besties, there is a lot going on with MelodySusie's new launch, and I want to talk about it because I had ordered these, and I don't know if you guys saw my short on this, but I ordered their new collection, which is this, okay, well at first it was called Sweet Scents, and then it's Fleurwee, maybe? Who knows? I don't even think MelodySusie themselves knows. Let's get into it. Okay, so these came out, I want to say about a month ago, and I ordered them as soon as I saw them because it was their newest clean line, which is HEMA free, HPMA free, yada yada. So this is their website and how they're marketing these gels. It is literally the exact same as Fleurwee. It smells like what it's supposed to represent, or like the color that it matches, which that was always one of my favorite things about the original Fleurwee line. And here is the color palette. Again, very, very similar. It's nature inspired. Yeah, I mean, is this the same thing? I'm so confused, but it's pretty. So here we have a bunch of marketing terminology: plant-based formula, hypoallergenic certified. I don't know about that. I don't know that this is hypoallergenic because of one particular ingredient we're going to talk about, but they're not wrong. It is HEMA, HPMA, and TPO free. And then, you know, the 21 non-toxic. Again, these are just marketing trigger buzzwords. Carbon conscious chemistry, like whatever that means. I mean, so it sounds really good when you look at it from the marketing perspective, but then you have all of the stuff that it doesn't have. And the thing is, the majority of gels don't have any of this stuff either. Like, this is methyl methacrylate. That's literally illegal. You're not supposed to have that anyway, but thanks for following the law, I guess. And then this is kind of what I have the issue with. It says the hypoallergenic formula allows sensitive skin to use it with peace of mind. That is not true. You cannot say goodbye to allergic troubles of redness, swelling, and itching, because if you already have an allergy, this is probably going to flare you. So I'm okay with companies using the term hypoallergenic, which just means less allergenic, but then don't claim that it's not going to cause any reaction and that it's going to give you peace of mind, because that's just not true, especially when you are adding certain other allergenic ingredients. Right before these arrived, I tried MelodySusie's new UV glue, which claims the same thing, and I had the worst reaction ever. And if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it right here. It was gnarly. So when these came in and I saw that the ingredients were similar, I was like, absolutely not. So I will not be putting these on my nail, but I did swatch them for you guys, and I'm not going to lie, they are stunning. Okay, this is one coat right here, one coat coverage. They are gorgeous. So this is the original Fleurwee, and I have the entire collection because I impulsively bought it thinking that it didn't flare me after I only did 1 or 2 fingers, but when I did my whole hand, it flared me. However, nowhere near as bad as the UV glue, but I do think that's just because it wasn't in direct contact with my nail plate and the UV glue was. So the ingredient that I want to talk about today is Acryloyl Morpholine. This is what I suspect is giving me a reaction because nothing else in here really makes sense. And when I did some digging into Acryloyl Morpholine, this is what I found. So Acryloyl Morpholine is a water-soluble, low-viscosity acrylate monomer used as a reactive diluent in UV curable formulations, a monomer for synthesizing copolymers, and a building block for hydrogels and biocompatible coatings. Now, it doesn't really have a lot on the application in nails. It's mostly used in glues, biomedical stuff, and 3D printing. But when you compare it to HEMA, and we go over here to curing speed, faster than HEMA in UV curing systems. The presence of the Morpholine ring, which lacks a methyl donor group, means it's more susceptible to radical attack, which speeds up polymerization. Now, this would explain why I was getting the heat spikes from hell with that UV glue from MelodySusie because of the Acryloyl Morpholine. It does say that there is a reduced allergy risk. However, handling precautions are still necessary because it can still be allergenic. In fact, I actually found this in the Wiley Library, which is a study done on occupational contact dermatitis from a smartphone screen protector glue that used Acryloyl Morpholine. The findings concluded that it was from the Acryloyl Morpholine glue, and here are some of the photos of the reaction, which look very, very similar to my own. So there it is, case closed. And another thing is, what is this? Because again, it was labeled Sweet Scents when it came out when I first bought it, but I think that they're intending for it to replace the Fleurwee line. They are still selling Fleurwee, I mean, obviously, I assume they have a ton of inventory of this stuff. But on one of their Facebook posts, they said that the launch of Fleurwee, which they put a picture of this stuff, happened this year. So I'm confused. And when I asked for clarification, this is what I got. So still confused. This is clearly just a robotic sales response. Now, unlike other brands that I have talked about on my channel, they are not lying when they say they are HEMA and HPMA free. But the Acryloyl Morpholine, I just wanted to make y'all aware, might be a problem for some. If you are already allergic to HEMA and you have not had an allergy test to confirm that you are not allergic to Acryloyl Morpholine, I would stay away. But if you don't have an allergy, I do think these are pretty nice polishes. I will say 1-coat coverage. And if you are looking for a safer, cheap alternative to garbage products like Beetles and Model Ones, then I guess this is a good choice. But definitely not for me, and I don't recommend it for girlies who already have an allergy. Now, the base and the top coat, however, I think are okay for me to use, because the only ingredients are acrylates copolymer, tripropylene glycol diacrylate, and bis 4-methylphenyl phosphoryl mesatyl methanol. I have no idea what that is, but it's not in my list of allergens. It's also bis, so it can't be a monomer. If anything, it would be an oligomer. So I do think that the top coat would be okay for me to use. But again, after the last reaction I have with MelodySusie, I do not feel like being burned again, quite literally. So we are going to avoid. But if you don't have an allergy, I do think that this is a pretty decent line of cheap polishes, including the original Flurry, which I always really liked. And the concept is kind of the same. So let me show you. All right, so here are the ingredients for Sweet Scents / new Flurry. And then here are the ingredients for the original Flurry. And as you can see, they are very, very, very similar. And I'm going to show you guys the difference in consistency. So there is original Flurry, and this is a very similar color in the new one. So yeah, very similar. And the brushes are also the same. They're a tad smaller and thinner. So I do like that. However, what I don't like is that they've gone down from 15 milliliters of polish to 10, and the price is the same. So shrinkflation is always nice. All right, now for the reds, this was the closest color match I could find. I actually really like this new red. Maybe I'm just not looking correctly, but I don't think that the original line has anything like that. So, a little goopy. Original red. As you can see, 1-coat coverage goes on very nice. And then we have the new one. Oh, I love that color. And same thing, very, very good, thick, smooth application. Now I do worry, this is just for swatching purposes, right? But because it's so thick, I would kind of worry when it comes to putting it on a nail, how well it can actually cure. So I do recommend, if you're gonna use these, do very, very thin layers, but they are stunning. I cannot lie, these are very nice gels to work with. And I do still use them for press-ons and the occasional art if I can't find another color. And they are fine for me over other things, but I just would not put this directly on my nail, and be very, very careful with the use. All right, besties, that is all for this one. If you are not already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any of my videos. I looked at my analytics the other day, and only 7% of you who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So please hit that button. It helps out my new growing channel tremendously so that I can keep buying new products to test out. I do purchase everything with my own doll hairs, so I really, really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.